Hello, I'm Ryan from Blind Superstore. We thought we'd do an in-depth video on how to measure for perfect fit blinds. We get lots of questions over the phone, so we thought we'd give a video to show you exactly what to do. First, you're going to need a metal tape measure, so that's the best way to measure, piece of paper and a pen. We always advise that you measure in millimetres or centimetres, but we can work in inches as well as, it's just whatever you feel most comfortable with. You need your windows to be UPVC, but we can put perfect fit on aluminium windows as well as. Most of the time this includes bifolding doors and it can be done. We've got a small opening window here with a handle with a slightly thicker bead, and we've also got a door which we're going to measure. Again, it's got a different bead, so we can show you both examples. You need to have a 25mm clearance from the glass. Now this is literally from here, from the glass to any obstruction like a window handle. Most new windows will have this clearance. If it doesn't and your window handle gets in the way, you can request a window handle spacer to make sure it doesn't interfere. Most of the time you might not need this. To check this 25mm clearance, basically it's the distance from your glass to any obstruction. So as you can see on this window here, we've got nearly 30mm, so the frame won't interfere with any obstructions. When you've come to measure, you want to measure in 3 different points. This is good practice because you can make sure that each measurement is always very, very similar, and you always take the smallest measurement. What we always recommend here is to measure what physical glass you can see. Don't worry about your bead or whether it's compressible or not. Measure what physical glass you can see. Perfect Fit's quite a forgiving product because we've got that 25mm overlap. If you're a few millimetres small, it's not the end of the world because you've got that tolerance in your frame. So you can get away with it being a little bit 2 or 3mm small. When you do your measure the glass and measure in 3 different points to make sure you're getting the same reading every time, and write that down. Always take your smallest measurement. Once you're taking your width, do the exact same thing with your drop. Again, take 3 different measurements and just physically measure the glass. And make sure you get the same size each time. As you can see on this window, the bead is quite thick. We've got quite a thick black rubber bead. Again, don't worry about it. Measure what glass you can see and the blinds will fit completely fine. The next thing to check is your bead depth. Now your bead depth has to be 18mm or above. There are lots of different brackets which we can offer. There's 18, 20, 22, 24, a 30 and a 38mm bracket. So there are lots of different brackets which we can offer. Now you need to double check your bead depth. The best way to do this once you're at home is, again, use the same tape measure and use a piece of paper. If you offer the tape measure onto the glass and then offer a piece of paper up to it, you can then see what depth your window is. On this case, it's 20mm. You've got a 20mm depth, so just come around this side and show it. I can edit that bit. You can see there, the bead depth for this window is 20mm. So you don't need any fancy tools. Tape measure and a piece of paper can show that's resting on 20mm. That's bad. I can edit these bits. The next, we're going to check the door. Now the door has got a slightly different profile and it's also got a slightly different bead. So we do exactly the same thing again. We measure the width in 3 different places. This is especially important on larger windows. And jot the measurement down and do the same again with your drop. You do the same practice again and you measure your depth. Grab your tape measure and a piece of paper. Hold your tape measure against the glass and pop it on. As you can see on this occasion, the depth of the window is slightly thicker, so it's a 24mm bracket. Don't worry too much about your brackets. If worst case scenario you order a wrong bracket, it's not the end of the world. We can always send you new brackets. You just got to make sure that the bead depth is always larger than 18mm, because otherwise the frame, it won't sit properly. I hope that all makes sense, and we're going to do another video next on how to fit. Thank you.